Peter Gregory Cantor was a prolific traveler, the founder of the doctrine of the anthropologist, the treasurer at the Royal Academy. Cantor was also known to all civilized world as an authority on the peoples and customs of Hindustan. Damn. It seems that his fascination with the object had not gone unnoticed, and in an act of spontaneous diplomacy, the Raj of Shatruvan, the province that Cantor was touring, presented him with one of the mysterious objects. But the gift was only served to torment Cantor, who found the apparatus a constant reminder of his bewilderment and his failure as a man of knowledge. Oh, it's toothpaste. Ah. In the land of Kudur, in the valley of Vitra, where lived the clan of giants, theirs was a thriving community, content to remain aloof from the other denizens of the world. And though the giants would on occasion trade with the gods or enslave tiny mortals, most of them rarely left the confines of the valley. Boshete, having recently witnessed a mortal wedding, wished to have musicians aplenty for his marriage as well. In vain did the gathered guests try to explain to him that giants were not meant to play music, that their hands were not made for the delicate strumming of the sitar or oud, or for the dexterous movements of the tabla. But Boschete remained stoical seated, cheeks puffed and arms crossed, unmoved by the pleas around him. And so it was that the famous musicians from the mortal realm were called upon to play at the wedding of Bosho and Buni. And Boshete called for the musicians to be punished. With giant jails too large to contain such puny creatures, the musicians were all thus imprisoned in a box that was lying around. It's a little bit lackluster. Several runners were hired and trained to run across the desert sands and chart the shifting landscape every day. Every one of them retired after a few years, every one except Ibu, the legendary runner, who had been guiding the Pasha and his army for centuries, without a blister on his feet. While traversing the deserts, Ibu's feet, through some miracle, had turned stiff and hide-like, so as to bear the rough sands and the eroding salt. It is a replica of these feet that are displayed here at the museum. What? Shit. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. This time traveler bullshit. Oh, I can't keep on reading all of this. What? This one. Oh, a long time ago, when the mountains could still remember their names and the monkey gods ruled the sky, a grand feast was held atop the Gruputa Purbut. Here, in celebration of their victory over demons, the monkey gods feasted on apples harvested from the clouds, for that was the sole fruit permitted to them. Summon Ibu the blacksmith to walk across the three realms to the gods. He listened dutifully to the chief amongst the monkey gods, and he nodded sagely at the request for a tool to divide the apple with, then bowing his head low, rushed back to his workshop. Holy shit. Who is calling? What? No. Okay, you wanna listen to this? You wanna listen to this? Fine. Then you get to listen to me read. Okay. Here. After another interminable decade of work, he approached the gods with his newest innovation, a splendid ivory tusk, curved and honed to perfection. Again, all the gods tried to lift it, but found that they could not do so without having to lift the elephant that had somehow attached itself to the other end. Much disheartened, Ivu took his rarest materials and tools and set out to craft the perfect yantra. It is Ivu's lost yantra that was shown at this museum, in a magnificent sculpture form commissioned by Maharja Darsing. This is the best game. Oh, I can just walk through the apples, nice. What's on this door? When Dairji died and his funeral was completed, all that was left was for his lawyer Meta to distribute the property. Try as he might, Meta could not discern any use for the object. No one in the family had ever seen or heard of this quaint apparatus, and its purpose could not be fathomed, nor its materials identified. Its place of discovery was also surprising, for it was found on Dairji's deathbed, resting below his head in the moments prior to his death, as if it was a possession of great value. Bewildered by this unexplained object, Meta was only too glad to donate it to the museum, where it now resides. Oh, what is this? What's happening? Okay. What? Alright, let's leave. It isn't. Why is there pipes? Oh. Oh, this game hates me. Inside sat the master craftsman, surrounded by clocks and astrolabes. Amiably spheres of sextants? And devices even a god could not recognize. Groobus returned to the forest next day, and with that, refused to say more. His patience wearing thin, Groobus snapped himself into his natural form, and reappeared at the workshop in his godly glory. And still, Ego would not deign to look up from his work that absorbed him. So, Ego, thundered Groobus, and his voice like a boom of cannon. Long have I said to myself, if only I had a pair of eyes at the back of my head. I demand that you craft me one such pair, immediately. And again the unheeding Ego replied, later. I will craft it later, for I am busy. Much too busy. But what is it that absorbs you so? What are you building so astuciously? Look, I am building the apparatus. Ah. All great inventions come from India. Okay, I'm gonna speedrun this. The omnipotent ruler, stately in his manner, sedated by his composure, importantly in his answer. It is this bone and sculpture that is displayed here at the museum. This is funny. Oh, this is a good game. What's next? Oh. Oh, sublime. Henry stopped at every third syllable, mumbled most of his arguments, and ever eluded da-da-da-da-da. Masood had claimed that reliable detail that the known universe seems to be splitting apart and would eventually scatter its components across an infinitude of distance. It was the need to share this observation that occasioned his lecture at the Royal Society. A replica of this box is kept at the museum in memory of Henry's contribution to the restoration of Ordi and the continued relevance of Hussein Masood's writings that are now widely acknowledged to have been prophetic and accurate. This is the game. And you see this is matches. Oh my goodness. Royal decree given to their family. Sole rights of purchase of all choir produced. The next morning, having spent the night in prayer, oh, that's nice. That's a typo. Read this with great interest and promptly stuck it on his own head. No. Oh, nice skull though. Oh. That is nice and shiny. That reflection is good. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna speed through this. Oh. 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 What? Oh my, that's it. Thank you, the Studio Olemingus project. That was pretty good.